Well, I guess the time is here. I can't put it off any longer. Let's go ahead and make it public now. Good morning. My name's Gary Lockney. I'm from Parkersburg, West Virginia. And I've been holding a secret not real secret, but pretty low key on this project I've been preparing for the past year or so. For the last 40 some years, I have been fascinated with the idea of a long distance hike. I read about the Appalachian Trail first, I think, way back then in a magazine, and I've read several books about it after that shortly. The first person I think I ever really followed through their posts online was the legendary Nimble Will Nomad, who, I've followed his posts through several through hikes, and he just completed the Appalachian Trail through hike in 2021 at the ripe old age of 84 years old. Well, I'm 74, so I know even that is pushing the limits a lot. But I've retired about 3 years ago, and every spring for many years now, I have had this urge that I wish I had hiked or could hike the Appalachian Trail. And for whatever reason, mostly work, it has never happened. Then at the beginning of 2021, I mentioned something about I'd enjoy hiking that, and my son told me I ought to do it. And surprisingly enough, my wife, she said, "Well, do it if you want to." That was all I needed. So I'm here today to announce my upcoming 2022 through hike of the Appalachian Trail. I know my age, I'm realistic enough to know that my chances of successfully completing a through hike of the 2,200 mile trail are probably in the hundreds or maybe even the thousands of 1%. But I'm going to register as a through hiker, and my intent is to hike until I get sick of hiking. By that I mean that I never really want to wake up in the middle of the spring and say, gee, I wish I'd done that. I'll know then I don't ever want to hike again. Otherwise, I'm going to hike the whole thing. For those who don't know, I know most of the people who will see this will probably know, but for those of my family and friends who don't know, the Appalachian Trail is 2,100, I understand, 94 miles long. It runs from Amicalola Falls State Park, Springer Mountain in Georgia, to Mount Katahdin in central Maine. I'm going to start on February 16th, so I'll be starting right in the dead of winter. That brings up its own set of problems, which is the weight of my pack is going to be substantial, and I'm still trying to find ways to lighten up on that. One thing I'll probably not be doing before my hike is to do a total gear review. To be honest, I've done some backpacking. I think the longest I've ever been out was a week. And quite honestly, for the most of the people that would watch the gear reviews intently, I'm not qualified to really evaluate the gear. My gear has been gathered up over several years. The gear that I have is nothing like the gear that is available now. I've, of course, replaced several things, including two of my big three. But along the way, I do plan to vlog this hike for my purposes, just for my convenience to go back and look at things I like, and also maybe look at some things I didn't like. I will, when I have a problem with a piece of gear or something that I really like about a piece of gear, I will mention it on my videos. And perhaps if you're following along, you'll be able to pick up some good things and bad things that happened with my gear along the way, and at least that'll be current and up to date. I imagine the hike will take around, in my case, it'll be probably close to 7 months, 6.5 to 7 months. Most hikers do it in about 6 months. My calculations, if my arithmetic is right, hiking 7 days a week, you would have to average around 12 miles a day to finish it in 6 months. You would have to average around 15 miles a day to do it in 6 days a week. I will probably, it's going to take me some time to work up even to 12 miles a day. So I probably will be in the 6.5 to 7 month range. And really the hiking season for that trail is only about 7.5 months long when you're going northbound like I will be. So my arrangements are pretty much made. I've got all the flight and everything down to Atlanta. The trip out on the MARTA system. I've got my room reserved at Amicalola Falls. The only thing I don't yet have, I haven't notified any shuttle services who would have to take me from the end of the MARTA line to Amicalola Falls. One thing that everybody seems to ask me is whether I'm going to hike by myself. And I don't think really you ever hike for very long by yourself on the Appalachian Trail. I think as early as I am starting, there are still already about 5-6 hikers per day who have registered their hikes. That will get up to around 40 to 50 per day when you get into middle of March, and that really is the height of the bubble that will be going. The reason I'm going so early, or one of the reasons, is to kind of try to stay ahead of that bubble and get to see the trail while it's still reasonably pristine. So that's one of the reasons. I did, however, contact or respond to somebody whose thing I saw post some of his posts I saw on, I don't remember if it was the Trek or trailjournals.com or wherever, but he went by the name of T-Buster, and he and I started up a chat because I saw that he had been spent some time in Alaska, and I was in Alaska for a year when I was in the service. And so we started up a conversation that way, and I found out he was planning a through hike and planning to start in February. So we had kind of agreed to go out about the same time or hike together for however long I could keep up with him. He was just turned 70. So we had been emailing and texting back and forth and talking about gear, talking about our progress and so on. And he really gave me a lot of confidence and encouragement, and really enjoyed my time with him. Not long ago, well, actually it's been back in the fall, he told me that he had COVID, that he had gone into the hospital for some treatment, and he had come home, and they were sending him home for some, or sending back to the hospital. They said he'd be in there probably a month or two to help his lungs get back into shape. And honestly, I haven't heard from him since. I really pray for him. I hope he'll be able to get back to good health and maybe get out later this year or next year, certainly, if he still wants, and be able to sweep up after me however far I get. One of the things he did, he is a woodworker. He has good nice wood shop, and he happened to mention that to me, and just a few days later in the mail, I got this. that says Pokalong. And Pokalong, as I had mentioned to him, was or is my chosen trail name. That will be the name I will be using. Meanwhile, my thoughts and prayers are still with T-Buster. I hope he's up there and getting back to health and all is going well. I don't know how to reach him to find out what's going on, but he'll be in my thoughts, and I'm going to dedicate this hike to him. So anyway, that's pretty much a wrap up. I didn't mean to babble on forever. I will be doing some videos. I'm not going to try to do them daily, at least not early in the hike. I'll still put out maybe a couple more between now and the time I leave. I'll be leaving here home the February 15th, and I'll be launching on the trail February 16th. I'll try to do a couple of maybe videos of my hike, my preparatory hikes between now and then do some on the trail. I'm going to keep my videos between 10 and 15 minutes. I know anything much over 15 minutes is you know, I really don't watch very many of them over that. You know, hopefully I'll find some things to keep it more interesting, and hopefully you'll, if you're interested in following my hike at all, just subscribe to my channel, and we'll hope to communicate with you then. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll talk to you as we go.